All right. Hello. It's been quite some time. I'm back. I know. I'm alive. I said I wouldn't take a long break, and I did, so I'm alive. But you know the deal. If you're here, then you know the vibe. Before anything, I do want to say I do have some videos coming out. I'm making these right now because I am going to drop my first, I guess you would call it, visual essay. It's on Flatbush Zombies, and I spoke about it before. I've had a love-hate relationship with that video. I've made it in Adobe, and I've had the files get corrupted numerous times, but I finally just recovered some old stuff. I had to go through the whole thing again and do it over, so that's what I'm doing. I'm just gonna throw that up there. A lot of the info is outdated. I'll put everything in the bio in the video, but I do know that a few people asked me about that, so I just wanted to address that off rip. And yeah, man, what's up? I'm back. I got a few videos for you. First off, I want to talk about some rap records. A few of these, two of these came out somewhat recently. One of them's brand new. But one of them is an album that I revisited and slept on when it came out, and I think it deserves some attention and for me to shed some light on it, mainly because I feel like where that artist is at right now is probably very pivotal and due to this album. And with that being said, that is Tyler the Creator. This is Wolf. I forget which number project this is of his, but this is Tyler around a time where I was already a fan of Tyler. I was already fucking with his music, but for some reason, I guess maybe the time period, I kind of glossed over this album. I had like select tracks that I would go back and I would revisit. There are a few bangers on here, more than a few actually. But for whatever reason, it never really stuck with me like that until recently, where they had the anniversary, so I had to get it. And I like this cover. I think it's pretty dope. Hopefully you can see that. It's not too shiny. But re-listening to this album, I would have to say that, well, first off, I'm a huge fan of Tyler. Anybody that's seen any of my videos know that I'm a huge fan of Tyler. And I always said that Flower Boy is like when I feel like he really found his stride, which is when he really hit that upper echelon of terms of rap and producing and all that good stuff. But I do think that is still true. Flower Boy is that turning point, but I do think that he got there because of this album. You can kind of hear a lot of the production choices and whatnot on this album that kind of furthered on to, like, you know, the sounds that he has now. So I'm very grateful for this album for that reason. Not to mention, when I re-listen to it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is fire. Sometimes you need some clarity just to go back and hear some things differently. And next up, we do got Schoolboy Q, which is Blue Lips. This is his newest record. It just came out within like the last month or so. I'm a huge fan of Schoolboy Q. He doesn't really drop too often, but I feel like his batting average in terms of good albums, I feel like it's not talked about enough. And I don't feel like he has a bad project, period, in terms of mixtapes or albums. But he did not disappoint. Crash Talk, I think most of his albums, I think I have all of his albums on vinyl, except for Crash Talk. I could get that. It's still available. I feel like that is his weakest one out of the ones that he dropped. And it doesn't mean it's a bad album. It just mean that, you know, Oxymoron and whatnot, I feel like those are held to a high bar, especially Blank Face in my opinion. And this one goes right up there. Something I didn't talk about was standout tracks on Wolf, but I'll do that on this record. Because this one is much more present on my mind. I would say that I'm kind of happy that I didn't listen to the singles beforehand. He dropped like maybe 4 or 5 singles before the project came out on every Thursday. I opted out to not hearing them. Sometimes I do that just to really be surprised. And I'm kind of glad that I did, because I didn't really know where this album was going. And if you listen to this album, which I encourage you to, this is in the lane of like gangster rap, but with some niche things in there. Like, he definitely experiments with his sound each project. And for someone that does gangster rap, that's usually something you don't really see too often. And I think he does it very well. And you'll see what I mean by like the first song, second song. It can go from like a very heavy on the jazz influence to a very aggressive trap rap, you know. And speaking to some people, I can see that is something that's a bit off-putting. And I get that. You know, you're listening to a song and it has like 3 different beat switches, and sometimes one of them is fast-paced, one of them is slow. You know, like, it doesn't really cater to the mood that you're in. I totally get that. But even with that being said, I love when people go outside the box, and I definitely feel like he did a good job with this project. There are some songs that are perfect for like the gym I've been playing. That would have to be like Time Killers, Pig Feet, Back in Love, and maybe Pop, and Yearn 101. A few other ones are definitely good gym songs, but I find that I've been bumping those a lot in the gym. Perfect songs to bump in the whip as well. But my favorite, or some of my favorites, will probably have to be like probably Blue Slides, for a few reasons. If you've seen any of my videos, you know that I'm also a big Mac fan, and Schoolboy Q and Mac, they were good friends or whatnot, and Blue Slides is a reference to Mac Miller's album called Blue Slide Park, which is a reference to the Blue Slide Park back where he grew up. And I like that record because not only is it a nod to one of my favorite artists, but also I like when Q or anybody really gets really introspective or slows things down or gets very personable, especially when you're not really known for doing that too much. Not saying that he's not known for doing that, because he does do that a lot, but as you can see from what I was saying before, a lot of the songs are not like that. So I definitely like it when it comes up, whenever it stands out. I'm thinking of like one of his past tracks would be like Bless with Kendrick Lamar. He has a bunch since then, but that's one that I always hold in the same vein of like, okay, this is a bit slower, it's a bit more personable. He's talking about like his life and whatnot, and like his daughter and everything. So yeah, that's Schoolboy Q, Blue Lips. And I'm gonna make sure to get some B-roll, as I usually do, of like how the record looks and the inserts and all that. But we usually gonna keep that for the end. And lastly, just for this video, we have Jpeg Mafia and Danny Brown, Scaring the Hoes. Let me see if I can get that in there. This record came out last year, and I was an immediate fan of it. I feel like Jpeg Mafia is highly underrated in terms of a producer. He's very unorthodox, so I get it. Like, he can probably be off-putting for a lot of people, as he was for me for a while. But I gave him numerous chances, and each time I never really hated it. I was like, okay, this is weird, so I kind of fuck with it. But yeah, they have a collab album. It's fire. I had this on repeat when it came out, and it's called Scaring the Hoes because it's a reference to just like the music that they make and like the production style and like the vocals and everything. It's very, like I said, unorthodox, and you're probably gonna be scaring the hoes if you're playing the music around them. But this did not disappoint. I didn't even know that this was coming out, but when I heard that it was, checked it out. I had to buy the vinyl. The vinyl was too expensive, I'm not gonna lie. It was the most expensive one out of all of these. I think it probably retailed for like, shit, maybe like $70 or some shit like that. Something outlandish. But something told me just like, yo, just wing it and just go for it. And it was one of those chances where I was like, all right, I like both of these artists. I didn't know that they were gonna collab. And knowing these artists, I was like, I'm probably not gonna be able to get this again. Maybe, maybe not. But knowing how like obscure the sound can be and whatnot, I was like, all right, let me just go for it. So I did, and I'm super glad that I did. It's definitely one of my favorites, one of my recent favorites. And just some quick little facts. So I'm gonna start including the runtimes and whatnot, just in case for the people that are interested. So Schoolboy Q, Blue Lips is 18 songs and it's 56 minutes long. Tyler the Creator, Wolf, is 18 songs as well and 1 hour and 10 minutes long. And Jpeg Mafia and Danny Brown, Scaring the Hoes, that is 14 songs and 36 minutes long. A standout track from Scaring the Hoes, there's a few, but probably my most played is probably for sure God Loves You. There's a track called God Loves You on there. It's super fire. I don't want to spoil. I mean, you can tell from the title what they're rapping about, but it's in a very funny way. And I definitely think like that one gets some shine. If you have a nice speaker system or a nice like car or whatever, play that song and turn it up. That one and Scaring the Hoes, which is the title track, both of those songs slap. It's the perfect song to just blast and annoy people around you. So overall, yeah, those are my three. I'm gonna keep it kind of short because I'm running out of time. My battery's about to die. But yeah, I'll make sure I get some B-roll and everything, and make sure if you're here checking this out, just know that I have a second video. It's gonna be right here or right there, whatever the fuck. Check in the bio. I'm gonna put the link in there and check that out too. That's gonna be my next 3 pickups. So later, man. Be easy.